You know, Big East, man, Big East battle. They are a well-coached team. They were very prepared for everything we did in the first half, and just sliced us. They just sliced us in the first half. We had some good shots, but didn't make them. But we couldn't stop them. Everything we tried to do, they had an answer for, and they were just very well prepared. And proud of our guys just grinding it out, on the road and continuing to play for 40 minutes. And it's in this league, you get a win on the road. It's very, very valuable.
All right, we'll open it up for questions. You can either unmute yourself, raise your hand, or write in the chat, and we'll try to get to you. Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, what was the difference for you in the second half? Because it just looked like you were just slow to getting the spots, and it just looked like you had more energy and played with a little more purpose.
I'll tell you, I thought we got good looks in the first half, didn't make them. That might have been the answer for us, maybe being down 3 or 4. But defensively, we were a step behind everything they did. I felt like offensively, they were just a step ahead of us. They were a little bit more prepared for us, and maybe we're a little bit more predictable, we did not execute what we wanted to do defensively, and they really sliced us in the first half. And I just thought we got comfortable with what they were doing in the second half. We didn't make any great changes. We just got comfortable with what they were doing it and defended it better.
Thank you.
Joe, go ahead.
Jay, did you feel like you were settling a little too much in the first half? Because it seemed like you had a lot better ball movement in the second half.
Yeah, a little bit, Joe. But we don't. I mean, you're probably right, but we don't talk to them about that. We shoot them up, sleep in the streets. We want them to be aggressive shooting the ball, and we thought we had pretty good shots. But but we couldn't stop them. I think they shot like 56%. Like they scored every time down. So you can live that way offensively if you play good defense. We did not play good defense in the first half, and like Patrick's got a real NBA mentality. Like he gets his guys to recognize what you're doing, and when you make an adjustment, his guys recognize it, and they're tough to guard.
Thanks, Jay.
Andrew, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Coach. The first conference game under your belt, how does it feel to have a couple games now in your past, and now with a conference win getting into kind of like the more Big East grind? What are you guys expecting going forward?
I got to tell you, I mean, it's always great to have the opportunity to play, but I got to tell you, it was really weird playing Georgetown in this gym with no fans. I mean, usually a Georgetown Villanova game, there's a ton of Villanova people there. And obviously a lot of Georgetown people there. This is one game you always just know it's going to be a huge crowd, and it was really strange, really strange. And but it was, once the game went up, once the ball went up and the game started, it was a typical Big East battle, and that was pretty cool to be in that. That felt good and felt normal.
Yeah, you talked about it a little there, the classic Nova Georgetown rivalry. People say that form kind of tends to go out the window with games like this. Do you guys prepare any differently for playing another Big East Conference rival like Georgetown and than you would, against any other team?
We don't. We respect every team the same in our conference. It's when our fans, just they have a connection with Georgetown. I guess going back to '85 and. Our fans love that game, and they love that game. And so it's more the fans, that hype that game up. But for us, each Big East opponent, if you get a Big East road win, you don't get, value because it was extra value because it was Georgetown. It's just a Big East road game is just valuable no matter who it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Coach, and congrats on the win.
Thanks, Andrew.
Dan, go ahead.
Thanks, Jay. First up, I guess, pandemic willing, how much are you looking forward to actually getting a home game in this week? And not just the way they've played on the court, but how do you feel the guys have handled this stretch of games all on the road?
Yeah, you know what? I got to say, honestly, Dan, it's not that big of a deal now without the fans. It's, and I don't, like, I was just thinking about this at our practice the other day with nobody in our place. It's not that big of a deal either, you know, like with no one in there, it's really bizarre, man. It's like one of those preseason scrimmages, except the game means a lot, you know? And, so I honestly, like, we haven't even talked about it being road games or home games, like with the team, you know. No, I shouldn't say that's not fair, but I mean, like, you know, we haven't talked about dealing with the crowd or, you know, anything like that. It's, it will be nice to be home. I don't know what it's going to be like, though. We haven't played a game, and I don't know what it's going to be like playing a game at home in an empty gym.
Mike Jensen, go ahead.
Yeah, Jay, can you define Caleb's sort of offensive role right now? How it might be just a little different than, say, you know, Moore's role, and then just state the obvious and talk a little bit about what he gave you tonight.
Well, I think your original question is a good one, because no, I can't define his role yet. Like, we're still figuring that out. You know, we're trying to get him to understand our defensive concepts first, which he really did a good job tonight. He struggled a little bit in the Texas game, and he did a really good job defensively. And usually when you do that, your mind's free offensively. But I think what we'd like to get him to be, he's a great shooter, great ISO guy. You know, you saw it, I think, once or twice tonight. He really got to the rim strong. He can do that. And believe it or not, he's really good in the post. We just haven't been able to get him in there yet. You know, for a number of reasons, but we think he can be a really good post player too.
And Wright, you came into the game fourth in Division I on Ken Palm in efficiency. Obviously, you know, the shots weren't falling. You weren't there in the first half, but I'm curious if you look at that stat, if you value that stat, or whether it's just a byproduct of other things.
No, we really do. I mean, we don't. We you know, if you look back at our good teams, which I'm sure you have, we were always up there, you know, like in
Right.
Defensive efficiency, 2-point efficiency, 3-point efficiency, free throw percentage shooting. You know, it's something that we work on. We want to be good at that, but it's not like we know if we're playing our way and we're playing with this in a smart Villanova team, we're going to be efficient offensively. You know, we know it takes time to get there. And it's kind of to your question about Caleb. That's what we're trying to figure out, you know, how to play Caleb within our system and be efficient.